All right, I saw Predator Badlands. Well, how bad was it? Well, I mean, it was a dangerous place and everything, but the film in and of itself, it's all right. I had some fun with it. The elements that I could see some people bitching about, it just didn't bother me at all, really. You know, I mean, it's like, oh boy, Elle Fanning's character is really gonna annoy you, and there's some annoyance there in how she's presented, but it's not enough to kick you out of the movie. The premise of this, you know, because a lot of things like Predator is the same thing with Alien or anything else, is that you've had a pretty good start. And really, for Predator, there's really only one good Predator movie, and that's the first one. Since then, they've had some outright stinkers to some that were, well, they tried, you know, and that sort of thing. Two of which I haven't seen, and I'm going to have to do that. Certainly Prey. The other one, where apparently they were battling climate change or something, I don't know. But, you know, I'll have to check them out. But, like the second one, you know, it's aged better than I would have thought. To me, it was a bit of a letdown at the time. But it's got its moments and all that. But the main thing is, what's the next story to tell? And they did try. I mean, the second movie, they put it in a different locale and all that sort of thing. And so, okay, at least there's that. But narratively speaking, what else can you do? Well, this next time, he's hunting these guys. The next one, he's hunting, you know, and it's like, okay, yeah. So, this one, they make an effort to really shake it up to the point that, yes, there's a hunt, but the main character is the Predator himself. And it's more delving into what culture does this alien race have? I mean, all they ever do is seem to want to just kill people, and that's it. And they got to figure out how to beat him and all that. But what is that, you know? And apparently, I've read some of the crossovers, you know, like Batman versus the Predator and stuff like that. But as far as the full-on Dark Horse comics that developed the story more, yeah, I didn't really know a whole lot about those. And apparently, this movie takes a lot from that lays some groundwork for the Predators. And so it opens up on a pretty good, you know, these are the types of things out of myth and whatnot, where your hero here, which is going to be the Predator, has to do this rite of passage. And he's coming out of a brutal culture. His father rejects him. His brother cares about him. He's trying to toughen him up, but he's not quite there. And then the father shows up and wants him done away with. I mean, it's, you know, it's Spartan, basically. And so he's on a mission after that to go kill the biggest monster that all the Predators fear. Many have tried. They've all failed. And he's on this planet. And so he ends up there. I'm not going to spoil the entirety of the opening scenes. I kind of did, but but it really sets him on his path. He's got more reason to do this rather than just prove that he's a worthy Predator, even though he's short. You know? The other ones are bigger than him, and that sort of thing. But heads over there, crash lands, all that. So he's kind of already at an disadvantage. But he's going to try anyway. And it's a very dangerous planet. There's all kinds of monsters that can kill you, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, a Weyland-Yutani, yes, they're in one universe now. A Weyland-Yutani craft has also, well, I don't guess they crashed, because they managed to set up a whole base and everything. So they're there, and turns out they're after the same thing. Of course, for their purposes, you can be similar to why they want the xenomorph and all that sort of thing. So they're doing the same thing here, but they want this creature called the Kalisk. And it's the big bad, the ultimate apex predator of this planet. So that's the stage through which the story evolves. He's nearly taken down by some nasty vegetation and what appears to be a pterodactyl. who wants to eat him. And lo and behold, there's this android hanging in a tree. Her legs are gone. You don't see that at first, but then you realize it later. And she's offering to help him in exchange for him to help her. And she does, and manages to save him from this death trap. So there you go. The partnership begins. And off they go. She's got some sassy dialogue and this sort of thing. And, well, you're an android sent on a mission. They explain this, that they're given a more emotional template to have the necessary curiosity to investigate the life forms on this planet rather than, and obviously for the big one, but also they're going to be more in charge, where the rest of the crew are basically drones, and that sort of thing. But they've already suffered a severe attack from the Kalisk, whatever. And hence, she doesn't have her legs anymore. She says it's left at the side of the shuttle or whatever they were in, and they got wiped out by this monster, so on and so forth. And she talks about her partner, or the number two or whatever of the two of them that they were in charge of the crew. And then Deck, the main predator, says, so she was your sister, Yes, they do talk, but it's through he doesn't speak English, but she has a translator, so she understands him. So his dialogue is the subtitle, but works. And she's unaware. She hadn't thought of this, and she's like, yeah, I guess she is my sister, and she likes that. She wants to get back to her and all this sort of thing. Eventually, we get the story of the sister. We see, and she's way more damaged than Thea was, and her name's Tessa. And the ship does its best to repair her, but it can only do so much. She's still a little bit damaged. It cleans her up as best it can, and it says that. So I think that goes a long way to explain her, where she is much colder and direct, and ultimately becomes the villain of the movie. And I think that's the explanation. God, why, Thea is so nice and she's goofy and stuff. Maybe Tessa was very similar to her in that regard, but, she got badly damaged, and so she's the broken one. Thea she lost her legs, but she gets them back. Oh, I spoiled that, but yeah. But anyway, so I think that lays the groundwork there between the two. And there's also some allowance for it as these AI-oriented androids are made. They're sent on a specific mission. They give them some amount of thinking ability, and because it necessitates, because you can't predict every possible scenario that they come to. So that's why the two girls have those advanced abilities, whereas and they all look male. So I said, yeah, that's a feminist message. So, okay. But they're the drones and whatnot. You just need the leadership to have that sort of thing. And but as they go through all these scenarios you can't predict, it's going to add to their programming and whatnot, and their thinking machine, so they develop more of a personality that's, to lack of a better term, is organic unto itself, that you can't completely control. And so Thea becomes who she is. Tessa will never know who she could become because she's been so badly damaged, but then again, that's an influence too, so she becomes who she is, and that sort of thing. So there's groundwork enough there, I think, that does it. Too minimal, it becomes a bit of a problem. But here, and maybe it is to a certain point, and some don't quite get that, and it doesn't work for them on that level, perhaps. So the third player in this of our gallant band of heroes is this little blue monkey-like character. That's just so cute. And this puts people off because I've heard it like this is the Baby Yoda template. No. It's cute, but not to the extent of that. It's just sort of this dumb animal who's taken with these two and likes the predator. The predator does not like it. We learn later that this creature is female, so that's another nod. Oh, well, the females rule and that sort of thing. But for the story in and of itself, I don't think that takes away. A woke movie would take it away. It can't just put that in there. It has to be in your face. You know, it's really not. Deck is the star. He's the main character. It's his story overall. Yeah. And admitted the business of, well, the patriarchy really did him in. His father rejected him. His brother didn't. His brother is also male. So, after that, all you have is Deck and then these androids who aren't alive at all anyway. Yeah. You know, the two sisters are built to look like women. They aren't. All the androids that are built to look like men, they aren't. You know, they might as well have just not even bothered giving them human features or anything, you know. But anyway, it plays out for the rest of it. You've got all these dangers with the planet. It's literally designed to kill you, which is why Weyland-Yutani says we can't send a human crew there. We're going to have to just send androids because humans would not last very long on that planet, and so on. So eventually you discover the secret. Okay, the Kalis, it's a big monster, you know, but not that big. and even though Deck takes it on, he fights it, you realize it's got a little secret. That makes the whole thing pointless. So you discover why the monster is so formidable and why all these predators that came to try to take it down, no matter how good they were going to fail. And ultimately, it's up to the Weyland-Yutani technology to figure out the only way to capture it, which is what they want to do. Well, they've got that. And I don't know how they were going to make use of this once they got it back to Earth or wherever, or their star base or whatever. I'm like, you're asking for all kinds of trouble. So maybe they're going to try to take some samples and then dump it in space. I don't know. But whatever, that was their main mission, was to get that and probably pick up a few more samples and other creatures they thought were of interest. Yeah, that sort of thing. And that plays out somewhat, certainly, for our hero and all that. But, and then finally there's a big battle. There's some betrayal. So a little heartache there. And then he's able to take it back to Daddy. Well, yeah. Mommy shows up. You don't get to see her, but she does. So that was another, I've seen, it's sad that, oh, that's another nod to feminism. Yeah, perhaps it's a Disney production now, so you could put that in there. Is it so much in it that it destroys the movie? No, it's not. I know the woke era is terrible. It irradiated the landscape, and that fallout is still here and will be here for quite some time, to where you're going to see plots like this everywhere you go. I mean, at this point, if Alien were made today, it would be called a feminist film, because Ripley's the only one who survives. I don't know if Jones the cat was female. In a woke movie, you would damn well know. So you know who's female in this one. Just about everybody in the end, except Deck. But with the fallout and stuff and how bad that era was, and the poison that wokeism did, it's going to turn you away from films that really probably wouldn't bother you that bad. So when you're more sensitive to elements like that, it's going to bother you. It's going to weigh on it. I don't think, objectively looking at this movie, that it's enough there to derail it. I don't think it does. It looks like, I think it's doing very well, so there's probably going to be a sequel for this. I kind of rather it wouldn't be. I kind of like Predator being just one movie, and then it's a universe, so there's other stories to tell. And then you go on to another Predator, another situation. But it made a really good effort to do a different story within this universe and kind of expands it a little more and that sort of thing. So I got to give them that because it's what happened. I don't know what else they can do, but just a sequel of the goof. I think a sequel would probably be pretty bad and might have more of the elements that people are claiming this one has. You know, although the cutesy little monkey cat creature, whatever he is, well, he's not as cute at the end, or she rather is not as cute at the end than they were earlier. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it looks like they want to do a sequel, narratively speaking, and they'll probably get it because I think it's doing very well. Overall, as a movie, I think it works. I think it's fine, and it left me feeling better about it than Alien Earth did. Alien Earth teased a lot of potential and just pooped the bed on the way out, and it just, oh God. And really, it should have been the better of the two, you know. And maybe Alien Earth, it should have just been a movie. Maybe if they had cut that down and dealt with the themes that it was portraying there, maybe that would have worked better and might have made it tighter and saved it. But man, what a disappointment that was. But Predator Badlands, it's not bad. I know bad's in the title, but they weren't going to call it good lands. There was nothing good about the lands they were running through. It was horrible. But they got through. That's right. But Predator Badlands, I had fun.